How's it going, guys? Cameron here with Canadian Gamer coming at you with another video. Quick video, going to give my final thoughts on God of War 2 for the PlayStation 2. Now, before we get started on that, I do want to mention I actually popped in last night for about a half hour Diablo 3 on the PlayStation 3. Now, from what I played so far, I'm actually really enjoying this a lot. Specifically, obviously, the single-player campaign. You know, you start off, you build your character, and you enter this township, if you will, and you talk to members of the community, and a very gothic vibe to it as well. Yeah, I'm liking it so far, and I'm tempted to maybe go back into this tonight and play more of this. Really enjoying Diablo 3, excuse me. So, today we're going to talk about God of War 2. I wanted to put this video out a couple of days ago, but in all honesty, this game took me a lot longer than anticipated to complete. This game took me almost 20 hours to complete. So God of War 2, and if you want to debate me in the comments, feel free to debate me. God of War 2 is a much longer game than God of War 3. Oh my god. It took me almost 20 hours to beat this game. What's interesting to note about God of War 2, PlayStation 2 here, copy, is this game came out 7 months after the PlayStation 3 hit the market. And going back and watching interviews with the guy, the main, I guess, head honcho at Santa Monica Studios, what's his name? David Joff? He said because, you know, there's 10 million or 10 billion people that have PlayStation 2s in their household, so it made more sense to release this game for the PlayStation 2 than exclusively on the PS3. Because you got to remember back when the PS3 came out, it's kind of like how we're living in right now, the times we're in now, where you couldn't get a PS3 for the longest time. You couldn't get an Xbox 360 for the longest time. That being said, Santa Monica Studios really pushed the PlayStation 2 to its limits with this game. This has to be the best looking game, graphically speaking, artistic direction, I'd say as well. This has to be the best looking, most ambitious PlayStation 2 game, and dare I say maybe the best PlayStation 2 game of all time. This is absolutely incredible. You know, I thought God of War 3 was fantastic. I thought this was fantastic. This is fucking trash. But yeah, God of War 3, I thought this was fantastic until I went back and played this. This is heads and shoulders 100 times a better game than God of War 3. I'm sorry, I'm calling it like it is, Elfenerd. God of War 2 is much more ambitious. The puzzles are much more complex in design. Very frustrating puzzles. My god. The open world is far more interesting than the world that you're exploring in God of War 3. And again, I'm not saying God of War 3 is a bad game. It's just, it feels like to me that Santa Monica Studios put a lot of time and effort into this one. Whereas this one, I'm not saying they didn't put any effort into it, but it seems like they released this 3 short years after God of War 2. This came out in 2010. And obviously, yes, this pushes the PlayStation 3 to its limits as far as graphics are concerned. But as far as the length of the game, no, this is a longer game, absolutely. Yeah, I enjoyed God of War 2 so much. I didn't make any crib notes here, so I'm not really going to go into things specific, like chapter by chapter by chapter. But, no, I just wanted to give my sort of final thoughts on God of War 2. Yeah, very difficult game. I played it on easy, and I had difficulty with it. I died and died and died and died and died. The music is incredible. You've got the classic God of War theme song, within the game. I'm not terribly invested in the storyline in these games, but in God of War 2, I found it a little bit easier to follow than the other games in the series. You know, you do get to understand why Kratos has his stomach stitched up, and yeah, I don't know. I had a real good time playing this. It took a very long time to beat. For me, 20 hours is a big deal. That's for me. That's a long ass game for sure. And to be honest with you, I had this strategy guide, and thank God I had it. The Brady God of War 2 strategy guide. Because what I was able to do, and I know there's some people that will chastise me for this, but I had it, right where I was throughout the game. And when I would get really stuck, I'd make an honest attempt to try to figure out the puzzles. But if I got really frustrated, I'd go to the strategy guide. And it's just so much, we take it for granted. It's so much easier to look at a strategy guide right in front of you as you're playing the game than to have to pull up your phone and squint to see what you're reading, or try to watch a YouTube video on your phone. Or maybe, if you're using an older TV like me, maybe you'll run to another room in your household where you've got a PS4 or an Xbox One hooked up and boot that up and boot up YouTube and pull up what you're looking for. No, it was much easier to use the strategy guide, and it made it a very enjoyable experience for me. That being said, gripes or frustrations, not many, but I will say the QuickTime events, some people don't mind them, some people absolutely despise them. As you get towards the latter half of the game, especially the very last sequence of the game, you're dealt with some QuickTime events that, let's just say, if you're not right on the button, you're screwed. Like, you're dead. Like, as soon as the screen flashes, like X or circle or triangle, as soon as it flashes it, you have to be right on the money, or you're dead. And the final QuickTime event, I'm not going to say any spoilers here, but man, I must have tried it 30 or 40 times before I got all the way through. Yeah, it was really, really frustrating. But yeah, I'm happy to have completed God of War 2. It's just funny that I started off playing this series. I played the first God of War, whet my appetite for the series, and then I went to God of War 2018 and got a sour taste in my mouth, and then I went to God of War 3 and I felt relieved, and then I went and played God of War 2, and it was a religious experience. So, the only other God of War games that I haven't played yet are the Origins collection here. So that's the Chains of Olympus and Ghost of Sparta. There's another one for the PS3 as well called Ascension. And apparently that came out after God of War 3, but it wasn't as critically acclaimed. So God of War Ascension, I definitely have to pick that up as well. So yeah, if you're wondering why I haven't been putting out as much content lately on the channel, it's because I've been really biting down on my mouthpiece, trying to chip away at my back catalog. And God of War 2, for me, it's a personal accomplishment. I've had the game in my collection for a while, and to have been able to say that I played it all the way through and beat it, man, oh man, feels good. But I will say this though, God of War 2 is like leaps and bounds above the first God of War. Again, God of War 2018 is just, in my eyes, it's trash. I don't know about Ragnarok. I'm sure it's the same. God of War 3 is fantastic, especially the remastered version on the PS3. But so far, from what I played, all the God of War games I played, I've got God of War 2 way up here on a pedestal. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but man, it was awesome. I had a lot of fun playing it. And I would like to pick up Ascension, but it's just not one that I really see out in the wild that often. I don't know much about it, so maybe I'll watch a video tonight and sort of familiarize myself with what that's about. But yeah, God of War 2, probably the greatest PlayStation 2 game of all time. If you guys disagree with that sentiment, definitely leave it in the comments below. But yeah, not much bad I can say about that gameplay experience. I had fun with it all the way through. It was a blast from the beginning till the end. I was happy to see a conclusion, see the ending of it, because like I said, it took me about 20 hours to beat. There was one puzzle in the game. You're like in a water temple, and to get out of the temple, you had to swing across various hooks up in the sky or on the ceiling, and it was difficult as well. That really frustrated me as well. A couple of water QuickTime events that were frustrating. But other than that, yeah, I can't say anything really bad about God of War 2. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. So, not really a review. I just sort of wanted to put out some thoughts on the game and just let you know that I really did enjoy it. And I'm going to be on the lookout for God of War Ascension, and I'm going to continue to chip away at my backlog of games. I've got Uncharted 2, which I still haven't completed, so I'm probably going to chip away at that next. Still haven't taken the Xbox Series X out of the box yet. Again, I don't have a reason to. Once Starfield comes out, then I'll have a reason. But until that time, I think I'm just going to continue to chip away at my backlog of games. So, yeah, that's it. That's it. God of War 2 has finally been completed, and it's time to move on to the next game. So anyways, guys, leave in the comments below your thoughts. Can't even fucking speak. That's going to do it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good night.